The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Hour number 2 of the show starting. We are getting closer to puck drop. We are outside of PNC Arena, right between PNC and Carter Finley, getting ready for Game 5 of the first-round series between the Canes and the Islanders, which is a closeout opportunity for the Canes. Some of us, before the series began, predicted Canes in 5, so really hoping that comes true.
By the way, if you swing by our tent, we have a QR code that you can scan. QR code that you can scan to win a autographed Carolina Hurricanes jersey. It has multiple autographs on it. It's the white jersey that has the Canes diagonal from top, from the right shoulder down to your left hip. That's the jersey signed by multiple Canes, including head coach Rob Brindamore. But scan the QR code, enter for a chance to win.
It's right here at our tent. And also, if you want to win a signed puck in about 30 minutes, almost exactly, 4:33, we'll be asking for callers. And the first 3 callers we have on air will be entered to win a signed puck. All you have to do is predict who scores the first goal tonight for the Canes. If you get it right, you get the signed puck by one of your favorite Canes. We need a player and a period for the prediction. That's coming up in about a half hour. Right now, though, it is football at 4. And I'm gonna say something that I think Panthers fans, I'm going to do that all day.
Both.
Actually, both. Fans of the Panthers and also other teams will be happy to hear. We are a couple days after the draft, right? So you've had enough time to let it sink in, look at it from different angles, talk about it with your friends. For the first time since David Tepper took over as owner, it feels like a draft took place and he was out of the way.
At least it feels that way.
It feels that way.
You never know, if he's still working
way.
Stuff behind the scenes, but feels like he's stepped to the side at least a little bit. At least
this team feels like it's built by Canales and Morgan. The things they've said along the way showed up in the picks made, right?
Yeah.
The explanations that they gave at their post-draft presser seemed genuine. It didn't seem like they were going, I wanted CJ Stroud, but Bryce Young was forced upon me.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't seem like they were saying something and thinking something else. It seemed like, no, we were convicted to go up and get Xavier Legette. We were convicted to go up and get Jonathan Brooks. We made those decisions, and we were enabled to have the power to do so.
The actions and the words lined up.
And
there's alignment.
We're going to say alignment. We're going to break the record for a radio show saying the word alignment between now and Game 1 for the Panthers next year. But that's like, this is big.
Yeah.
If that is true, that is not a small development. The fact that Tepper, and I know he made headlines because he took a hat off the head of a guy at a restaurant, and there was a whole thing. But if those are the headlines he's making, fine.
Okay.
Right? I mean, I don't like it, but I would like it much less if the headlines he was making was he went running down to the war room and stood on the table to make sure they drafted Keon Coleman or whoever was in the running for the 33rd pick instead of Legette, like, or we need an offensive lineman or whatever. Like, I would much rather get the vibe that he's not meshing with somebody at a bar somewhere than get the vibe that he's not meshing or not agreeing with what his GM and his coach, who he just hired, want to do. That is the more important part. Now the onus is on Morgan and Canales, right? If this is happening, if David Tepper is actually going, fine, I guess I have to get out of the way a little bit. Now it's on Morgan and Canales to make it work. If Morgan and Canales burn that trust, Tepper will never do it ever again.
Nope.
Every coach and GM to ever work for him will have to fill out like daily reports on everything that they're doing, and minutes of every meeting are going to have to be sent to him, and he's going to have final say on everything. Like, if he truly is giving some leeway, gosh, I hope it works. I hope Legette turns into the next Muhsin Muhammad. I hope it all comes true.
I wouldn't hate that.
I hope Jonathan Brooks is the next D'Angelo or Jonathan Stewart. Like
Stephen Davis, somebody.
Stephen Davis, heck,
CMC.
I was going to say I'll settle for quite a few steps below that. Like, if the team shows signs of success and improvement, I think that goes a long way towards earning the trust or reinforcing the trust that they were allowed in the draft. If it does truly play out behind the scenes the way it feels like it played out behind the scenes.
And something when Canales and Morgan were introduced at their introductory press conference, I forget who it was, went up to Tepper on the side and was like, "Are you talking today?" He's like, "Are you going to be available quick?" He says, "I'm in the background now." It's like, but he's never done that. Like, I'm in the background now. It's like, huh, okay. It's like maybe you are starting to figure it out a little bit. Again, there's probably still some middling in some way, shape, or form. It's his team. It's his money. I totally get it. But it seems like, yeah, he's starting to, again, phase into the background a little bit. And like you said, let the two guys, Morgan and Canales, do their thing.
I'll illustrate it this way. By all accounts, David Tepper is an analytics guy.
Yes.
Right? He likes the numbers. He likes the spreadsheets. He likes the can you show me how much value this player or play is adding, and not just say like, you know, the old, like, I heard the crack of the bat and I know he's a good hitter. Like, I don't want that. I want exit velocities and spin rates and everything else. I can tell you right now, there are very few analytics gurus out there that suggest taking a running back in the second round. However, since Dave Canales has taken over, he's been pretty darn adamant that the way he wants to play football is run, have the everything come from running back, have everything come from touches for your big guys, and lean on the offensive line. So that's what I'm talking about when I say coming out of the draft. It feels like the kind of onus, the decision making is made by the football people rather than the owner, because it goes against what we believe the owner prioritizes, but goes in favor of what the coach and the GM have been telling us they want throughout the run-up of this offseason. And if that's the case, that's what everybody's been asking for, right? I mean, they've been we see the comments on YouTube. We're about to get to our feedback frenzy later this hour where we read a lot of your comments. We've seen them all, right? Tepper needs to butt out. Until Tepper gets his gets himself out of those conversations, nothing's going to change. It doesn't matter who the GM is if Tepper's meddling and everything. Like, we see your comments, we read them, we hear them. In a lot of ways, I agree with them. This feels different, and now it better work, or else he's going to go, I tried it your way, it didn't work, we're going back to my way. Tepper rules. And that is, I think we've seen a dangerous way. And by the way, I would say not just for Tepper. That's a dangerous way for any owner who, quite frankly, your expertise is in something other than football. If your expertise is in something else, when we need that expertise, we'll ask you, right? But if your expertise is and when you're asking a football question, you have to go to the people that spent their lives honing that skill, like you did in the financial world, or like other owners did in, hedge funds or whatever the heck else they made their money in.